Hey everybody, it's your boy JordinTalks. I guess. Yeah, I'm back on this episode for this podcast. This will be episode 2, week 2. Congratulations, you made it to the second episode. If you haven't watched the first episode, go watch it. But yeah, I wanted to do a more scripted segment of Midnight Talks for this one because I got a lot of questions and people were asking like, what type of podcast is it? You know, that was a consistent question, like what type of podcast, like what do you talk about? And to summarize it, basically I will be talking about gaming news, nerd news, and by nerd news I branch that up into like anime, comics, and stuff like that, because maybe I don't have a topic to talk about on anime, but maybe I have something to talk about with some other nerd topic, like maybe webtoons or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to say anime news and then I talk about Marvel stuff because that's not an anime. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just call it nerd news, where it has all that, and then life stuff. So first section will be gaming news, second section will be anime or nerd news, and then the third section will be life news, anything that I have to talk about, or questions that people have. So that's another thing. There's a segment going to be called in the life section called Ask Jordin, right? And if you want to ask me questions, you can either ask me questions in the comment section, and I might pick your comment, or in my Discord channel. There's a section in there called Ask Jordin. You can ask me any question that's appropriate for your age, and if I pick it, it'll be in this week's episode. So that's generally what I talk about. And without any further delay, let's get started on the gaming news, because I'm not gonna lie, gaming had a really cool section. I was actually surprised at like gaming right now. Like in the next few years, gaming is gonna be really fun again. But as of right now, let's talk about what we have now. So if you are a console player, I am originally a Sony boy. I will admit that. I'm getting off of my Sony fanboy phase, where I'm not just a Sony kid, but I'll be honest, I grew up on Sony stuff, so I had a bias, but I'm getting off of that now. And recently, Sony had came up with their own version of the Game Pass, but it's very mid. It's very mid, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I'm a Sony fanboy, this this thing is mid because there's nothing good on it as of right now, right? So essentially what it is there are 3 different tiers. There's the regular PlayStation Plus. Now, if you don't know what PlayStation Plus is, it's basically the access you can use to play online games. And these are only online games that you pay for. So like, for example, Fortnite, you can play without PlayStation Plus. Apex, you could play without PlayStation Plus. But like, say if you buy 2K, which is a full price game, you have to have PlayStation Plus to be able to play games like that, or like Call of Duty, which is kind of dumb, but whatever. They're gonna make a bag, you know. They're gonna do it whatever the way they can. So that's the regular tier. That one's still there. And with the PlayStation Plus, the regular one, it's $9.99, and you get access to like free games a month. It's whatever they choose randomly every single month. You get like 3 games or like sometimes 4 games for free, and they can be either really good or really bad. So yeah. Then there's a second one. I think it's called like PlayStation Plus Extra or something like that. It's like $14.99, and that one's kind of cool. So what it is they made this catalog just like Game Pass, which is Xbox Game Pass, and there's a bunch of games in there that you can download for free. So for example, you could play like Returnal. That's a PlayStation 5 exclusive. You can play that on there. They have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and a bunch of other games like that. So they do have AAA games, and then they also have like B tier games. Like you can play like Greedfall or like other types of games. So there are games in there, yada yada. So that's pretty cool, and you also get all the previous stuff. So you get online, and you get to access that. And then I believe I'm not sure if it's this one or the next one, but I believe with this one you can also play demos of games. So essentially like Horizon Forbidden West, brand new game, $70. You get to play a trial of that game. So you can play like 5 hours of it. You know what I'm saying? So you download the game, play 5 hours, your data saves. So if you want to buy it, you can buy the game, and then boom, you just continue where you left off. And they have a select few of that right now. There's not a lot of good things on there. It's like Cyberpunk, Horizon Forbidden West, Ollie Ollie, and then some like other random games. So it's nothing really crazy on that list yet. You know what I'm saying? So nothing too crazy to really be like, oh, I need to try this, but it's there for people who want to try a game, you know. And then there's the premium, right? Now, PlayStation Plus Premium, that's the new thing, right? This one is $17.99 a month, right? And with this one, you get everything from previous that I mentioned, all the other two titles, except now you get to play old video games. So you get to play a bunch of PS2, PS3, PS4, PSP games on your PS5. Yeah, PS5 has no games that now we get to play all the old ones, right? And this sounds like a cool idea until you realize a lot of old games look like shit and play like shit. Like, a lot of these games are just streaming titles, basically. So, for example, one game that I've been wanting to play for so fucking long that it's hard to get a copy of is Asura's Wrath. Because for you to play Asura's Wrath, first you have to buy a PS3 disc. Then you have to own a PS3 to play it. And sometimes people are charging a grip for PSPs or PS3s, and then Asura's Wrath is kind of hard to find too. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go get a readily available copy from GameStop, you know. And not to mention, the game looks like shit. It's 2 generations ago. Very, very old. I think like 2010. That is literally 12 years old. There are people who are younger than this game. You see what I'm saying? That shit is old. And it's a streaming title. You can't download it. So when you play it, it's at like 360p. And I don't have shit internet. I have 1,000 megabytes of internet. I download 100 gigabyte games in 10 minutes. But yet this shit still looks like 360p. It's ass. I can't even imagine a nigga with like fucking 40 megabytes of internet. It would be crazy how bad it would look. And that's most titles on PlayStation Plus Premium. Most of the old games look like shit. None of them have been scaled up. None of them got like a texture pack upgrade. It's just how the game was, but slapped onto your TV now, and it looks ugly. A lot of the games are very unplayable because of how it looks and how it controls. There's a few games that are cool, like I've been playing Jak 2. Jak 2 actually holds up. It stands the test of time, which is cool. There might be some things where I'm like, damn, like, no, they could fix this. Like, there's no aiming button. Sometimes the controls feel a little wonky and this and that, but like, other than that, it's a really good game still. Like, I love playing it. If anything, it just made me realize that I would love a Jak 2 remake. Like, I can just imagine it now. It was very expansive for a PS2 game. Like, that shit was like open world for a PS2 game. I can just imagine the graphics and the way it looks now. Like, they don't even have to do anything else but just make it look better and then add some tweaking. They don't have to make the map bigger. They don't have to do nothing. They can literally just make it look good and then tweak some controls, like being able to aim with a gun and stuff like that. And bro, I would buy it $60 right then and there. Fucking $100, because that game is so fun. But yeah, it's pretty mid. I would say, honestly, it's a good price if you have a child and have like, if you don't want to spend $60 every single month or whatever a game comes out. Because I realize that a lot of people nowadays, when they have to buy a game, they have to just play that game forever. That's why people play Genshin and free to play games for so long, because it's like they don't have hella money to buy games back to back and this and yada yada. So in that front, I can see it being a good price, but at the same time, there's a lot of mid on here. I would say get it if you have nothing else. And I also say if you have a lot of nostalgia, it's a cool one-time buy. I feel like right now I'm just gonna buy it once and then cancel my subscription afterwards, because there isn't anything crazy that I want on there yet. Like, I want Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep on there. They don't have that. I want all the OG Kingdom Hearts on there. They don't have that. Shit, give me Sonic Unleashed, bro. Give me some OG Sonic games on there. They don't have that. You know, like, there's Sly Cooper titles. They don't have any Sly Cooper titles on there, but they have all the Ratchet and Clanks and the Jacks, which is kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like, they're forgetting their mascots that were holding them up back in PS2 and PS3 days, which is kind of weird. There's not a lot of Spyros on there. There's like a couple OG ones, but like nothing. Like, it's like the titles that made you back in the day, I'm surprised I don't see them on there. Like, Ratchet Deadlocked isn't up in there. Ratchet and Clank, the OG one, isn't on there. It's like PS3 Ratchet and Clanks are on there. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? That would have been one of my main selling points, is like, I would have had like a section where it would have been, because they have a section where you get to play the OG games called Classic. For me, I would have put classic, and I would have had Jack's face up there, Jack and Daxter, because they're OG. As soon as you see them, niggas are like, "Oh, Jack and Daxter." That's the first thing I'm leading with. Ratchet and Clank, because Ratchet and Clank, it's Ratchet and Clank, and then Sly Cooper, because it's Sly Cooper. Those would have been the things. Those would have been the people, and then even then maybe Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that, and Spyro, because those are OGs. When you see them, you see them. They got Ape Escape on there, which is cool. I never played them because that's before my time. That's like PS1. But even then, I get to try those. As long as they don't look like shit, I'll try it, because that's one of the things. It's hurt by its graphics more than the game. They didn't upscale it at all, which is kind of trash. They just basically said copy paste and said do your thing. So as of right now, if I had to give it a rating out of 10, I say it's mid. I say it's a 6 out of 10. Get it if you have absolutely nothing to play or a small child, but even then, just throw them on Fortnite and give them like $10 in V-Bucks and they'll go crazy. So yeah, as of right now, I wouldn't really pick it up unless you have nostalgia or expendable income, but don't set your expectations too high. It's kind of mid right now. But things that aren't mid, there are 3 games on here that I want to talk about that have me excited for this year, or just in general for gaming, right? And the first one is Crisis Core. Now, if you don't know what Crisis Core is Final Fantasy VII was just released. Final Fantasy VII Remake was just released, and that was like a year ago, I guess. Within the last year or two, Final Fantasy VII Remake was released, right? And if you guys don't know, there are branching story paths in Final Fantasy VII, and Crisis Core is one of them, right? This is before Final Fantasy VII, though, so there are basically stories within that one story. And Crisis Core has Zack Flair, which is the main character of that one. Beautiful man, amazing man, my favorite Final Fantasy character, hands down, right next to Noctis. Those two are my favorite Final Fantasy characters, right? I'm a grown man, but I'm also a child, right? I'm 21 in the aspect that I am becoming an adult, but I'm also 21 in the sense that I'm still technically a youngin', or how people put it, like, I don't know shit, so I'm still technically just a child to some people, but then I'm also a grown man to some. You know what I'm saying? So my inner child came out when I saw Crisis Core, bro, because when I played Crisis Core, nigga, I was 8 years old when I played Crisis Core. That was a long time ago. You see what I'm saying? So when I seen there was a remake coming out, updated visuals, the fact that I saw Zack made me scream. I was playing Valorant with my friends, and I screamed in their ears uncontrollably. Not on purpose, but because I was surprised. I legitimately wasn't expecting this, because I have a Final Fantasy VII poster on my wall. I have Zack Flair, where he's standing above a battlefield with his classic blade, you know what I'm saying? And Sephiroth's feathers flying all around. Then I also have 2 pictures under them with Sephiroth and Cloud. You know what I'm saying? So Zack Flair, hands down my favorite character. So when I saw my nigga Zack Flair holding Cloud, and I saw Crisis Core remake, I squealed like a bitch. And I was very happy to find out that it's coming out this year, this winter. They weren't specific. That can either be fucking September to December. That shit's coming out this year, and I was like, bro, take my fucking money. I'm instantly buying it. And don't be afraid, it's coming out on PS4 and PS5, because what sucks is that the previous DLC, the one with Yuffie, came out only on PS5, so PS4 players missed out on that one. But this one's coming out on PS4, I think. Either way, I don't gotta worry, I get to play it, so I'm not tripping. Crisis Core, bruh, that shit's coming out again. I'm happy, I was excited. Lovely game, lovely character. Oof. That was actually a highlight of my day. And then, I thought that was it. I literally thought that was it. No. Dragon's Dogma 2 was announced. We didn't see nothing else but that was announced. Now, if you don't understand, Dragon's Dogma is one of the best JRPGs on the planet. Hands down. You know what I'm saying? It's so freaking fun. It's so freaking intuitive. It's very advanced in its gameplay. Like, the way you fight nowadays, okay, like nowadays it looks a little archaic when you first start playing it, but later on, definitely when you start unlocking more moves, more armors, going to see different areas, it still holds up to this day. Hands down, it's one of those games, it stands the test of time. And so hearing that Dragon's Dogma 2 was being made, I expect within the next 5 years it's going to be released, right? Hopefully within the next 5 years we get to see it. Shit, I hope in the next 2 to 3 years we get to see it. 5 years is gonna that's another console generation. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be playing it on my PS6. I would rather play it this generation, hopefully, because they don't have to do anything really graphically intense for a game like this, right? They can make it look nice, obviously, because the graphics are going to look really beautiful. But then just what is it? Advance on the gameplay. Advance on what made Dragon's Dogma. Now, I imagine a lot of people who are watching this haven't played Dragon's Dogma before because it's a very niche game. Now, what made it great is like you get the regular explorative aspects, like say with Skyrim, you know, you walk around, you get adventurers to join your group and stuff like that. You get to customize your character, get armor, fight monsters, do quests and this and that. But what made Dragon's Dogma better is that it was very vicious and very fast paced, and you get to do a lot more. So for example, one thing that was really cool is that you get to pick up enemies, right? Or like you can hold them in place while someone else stabs them, right? One thing that's always crazy about games now is that they're just bullet sponges or just hit sponges, right? So you have to hit them until their life bar goes down, and then when their life bar goes down, they're dead. You know, you might be able to stun them with a heavy attack and this and that, but that was, other than that was basically it. In this game, you got to hold enemies in place, right? So like you might be fighting a goblin, right? And maybe you're like, fuck this dude, bro, just kill him. You grab him and your teammate will run over there and stab him in the head and he's just dead. Right then and there you end the fight. Or vice versa. Your teammate can hold them and then you do a finishing attack. Or you can grapple onto a big enemy. Say you're fighting a giant troll, right? Something fucking 30 feet high. You can grab his legs and climb all the way to his eye and start stabbing him in the eye. And they had different defensive measures, you know what I'm saying? They would be able to like swat you off their face or some shit, or like hit themselves in the face with a club, and you might jump off at the right time and they still hit themselves in the face with a club, so they take damage. You know, shit like that. And then it was also vicious in the sense that, yeah, you can pick them up, but they can pick you up too. So yeah, you are crawling up his ass, but he grabs you off of his ass, and now you're getting slammed into the ground and stepped on, or you're getting eaten alive. So it was a very vicious game, and it was kind of hard too. It was very, very hard. People, they did not hold back swings. And another thing is they had multiplayer, but it was not multiplayer in a sense. So what I mean is, in the game you get to create your own character, right? That's your main character. Boom, you play with that person forever. And then what you do is you make this thing called a pawn. Now, the pawn system is your buddy. That is a character you get to create, but that's just your companion. That is your personal companion, and you can also send them out on missions. So essentially what it is like, you know how a lot of games nowadays, like say mobile games, for example, you can use another person's character to have them help you fight a battle because they might be strong or whatever. That's essentially what the pawn is. So basically people can recruit your pawn on their team. And that was the online aspect. It was cool, but it was kind of like, I actually wanted multiplayer. So I'm hoping in the second one they actually have multiplayer. But the pawn system is still cool. They can keep it. I just hope there's actual multiplayer this time. That would make the game astronomical. Another thing is that I realize that the map is kind of small now. Granted, the game came out on PS3, so that's another thing. The game came out on PS3, so it's not bad. There's definitely a lot to explore, but it's not Elden Ring big. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping they have a bigger map. Even if they don't have like a hella big Elden Ring map, if they make it fucking intuitive, great. But yeah, that's all the information we had on it. It was just them talking about it, saying that it's being made right now, and that's it. So, but that got me excited because Dragon's Dogma is a great game. I bought it again for $4, and yeah, so I'm waiting on the second one. And then third game, right? Forspoken. I don't know if anyone knows about that game, but that is possibly going to be my game of the year. I know Elden Ring is great, yada yada. I love Elden Ring. I put almost 100 hours into that game. But Forspoken is screaming everything I want in a video game, right? Strong black female main character, right? Love diversity, love good diversity. 2, in a different world. That's another thing that's great. It's not my time setting that I would personally like. I still want something like Cyberpunk. But hey, eventually we'll get something like Cyberpunk Forspoken. That'd be dope. 3, The parkour in this game looks absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen the parkour in Forspoken or the gameplay, just search it up. It's worth it. It's so worth it. This chick will be doing front flips, back flips, jump off of a wall, roll run, fucking skydive, all this type of stuff that you just want in a parkour game. You know what I'm saying? Just like Miles Morales' flipping abilities is amazing to me. And the fact that Forspoken has that, you can have a hoverboard and do this and that, I love it. I want to try it. So the fact that that's still coming out the end of this year, October actually, that makes me excited. I'm really hoping Square Enix knocks it out the park with that one, because they've been on a roll in terms of their Final Fantasy game. So I hope they take everything good that they learned from Final Fantasy and put it into this game, because if not, and this game flops, Square Enix is gonna have to run me my ones. They got to run me my ones, bro, because I'm still play it. I'm gonna be mad while I'm playing it, but I'm still gonna play it, bro. I've been hyping this game up for myself too much. But yeah, and then in last about gaming news is Starfield. Now Starfield has been a game that's been hidden for the past 3-4 years, probably longer than that. And we just recently, I think within the last week, we just saw gameplay of Starfield, and I don't know what people really expected from Bethesda. Like, Bethesda's big, but is Bethesda really a good game company? You know what I mean? Like, Bethesda, that's what I thought was very funny. I never really thought Bethesda was like a really like respected game company in a sense of their good practices and then their gameplay quality, because like a lot of the Fallouts that I've never seen a single Fallout without bugs and glitches out the ass. And the only game that they really get respect for is Fallout New Vegas. And then the people who worked on Fallout New Vegas left and made Outer Worlds, which is a good fucking game, an amazing game. And then Fallout 3 was really cool. It wasn't as good as New Vegas, but it was still really cool. Fallout 4 was okay. I would definitely say Fallout 4 was a solid title. It's either you liked it or you didn't, and I had a good experience with it, so I say it's a fairly solid game. Good 7 out of 5, 7.5 out of 10. I would say it's just a solid game. Fallout 76 was trash as hell. I don't even want to remotely talk about that game. And yeah, I never really thought of them as like super respectable. I know Skyrim was really good. People still play the fuck out of that game right now. And then there's Fallout New Vegas. But then Starfield, it's like, what were we really expecting? You know what I mean? It literally just looks like Fallout in space. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Starfield looks like Fallout in space, and I don't know what else people are really expecting. It's like No Man's Sky, Fallout had a baby, and that was it. Like, literally, that is it. That's literally all it looks like. And I was like, I don't know if I'm really rocking with it, like, heavily. Like, I love space too. That's another thing. I love space. Like, the idea of space is dope to me, and so space games interest me a lot. But this didn't really do nothing for me. I guess if anything, like, I need to see what would be the point of traveling to these different planets, right? So, like, for example, they said there's over 1,000 different planets. That's cool, but what's on those planets? You know what I'm saying? Are they procedurally generated planets? Are a good number of them at least handcrafted? Because apparently you could go to every single one of them and explore every planet. But it's like, why would I do that if everything looks the same, right? Why would I go to a planet that's just nothing but desert, but there's nothing on it? You know what I'm saying? Why would I go to this planet that's just nothing but water and there's nothing on it? You know what I mean? It's like, what would be the point? Like, what if I do go to these planets, right? And there's just nothing but I don't know. There's a guaranteed cave on every single planet, and it's just you just go in there, hunt people down or hunt monsters down and get some loot, and then you leave the planet. That's boring. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? That's basically like settlements, but just unnecessary longer. Like, what I feel like should happen with these planets, right? Like, they should have cut it down the size, right? 1,000 planets is wild. I feel like 20 is like the max that planets should have been. If anything, 10 would have been solid. 10 different planets would have been solid, right? And what they could have did is make each planet 10 hours worth of story content, or even longer than that if they wanted to. If they want this to be the next expansive game, they could have certain planets be longer, right? Maybe a planet is in a war, like a Citadel war or some shit, and you have to choose sides to whichever one you want to help. And so then you explore the planet do your own way of solving the war, this and that, and you have the chance to work on the bad side or the good side, and that affects that planet. That planet can either explode and you never explore it again, or you can save it and branch it off and rebuild it from the ground up. That'd be a cool planet. Then maybe there's another planet where it's just nothing but actual, like, good shit happening, you know, like it's just like a regular planet, like say like Earth or some shit, where people are just living normally, and it's like a trading system. I go there, get my gear, this and that. I can find side jobs where people are like, hey, I need you to go hunt this person in this galaxy. Then boom, I can go do that. That could be like the normal planet. Nothing really too crazy happening, but just something that where I can go do stuff to grind. And then there could be another planet where, you know, it's nothing but just wildlife shit, and I can restart the planet, like kind of like some like Ark survival type shit. I can restart the planet and rebuild from the ground up. Something. 1,000 planets? I don't give a fuck about 990 of them. Like, why would I care? So that didn't interest me in the slightest. So my levels of excitement got dropped down by so many heights. So hey, if Starfield's good, I'm more than happy to eat my words. But as of right now, it didn't really do enough for me, dog. It's just Fallout in space, and Fallout has not have a good track record of making like S tier games. There hasn't been a Skyrim version of Fallout in a minute. I think New Vegas was that, but even then, New Vegas didn't have the same hype as Skyrim. Skyrim to this day is still argued as one of the best games that's released. So that's Starfield. And that was the gaming section. So now we're going to be moving on to nerd news. I don't have anything in the anime section or other sections. I just have a short topic to talk about, and that is comics. So I'm sorry, my Capri's over there in the back talking. She wants to be in the video. So essentially, what it is Miles Morales, a very popular Marvel character who has yet to make it to the big screen besides Into the Spider-Verse, is now in a what if scenario. And if you guys don't know what What Ifs is, basically, What If is a really popular series on Disney Plus and comics in general, where they do something like, what if Iron Man was the Hulk, or what if Peter Parker was evil, you know, shit like that. So in this scenario, it's what if Miles Morales was Thor. Kind of dumb concept, not gonna lie, because I'd never thought to myself, what if Miles Morales was a god? But so yes, essentially in this one, it is what if Miles Morales was Thor. And there shouldn't be anything crazy to talk about on here, you know, it should just be a straightforward comic. But it's a very controversial topic since its release, because so essentially, Miles Morales as an Asgardian warrior, it should just be as that, you know what I'm saying? A Black Thor. But there's a lot more into it. I'm trying to like segue into it because it's so dumb, I'm gonna be honest. It's like it's kind of weird. Basically. Okay, so for example, here I'll just show a picture. This is Miles Morales as Thor, right? Now, if we really break this down, here's Miles Morales as Thor, and here's actual Thor. It's really extra. You know what I'm saying? It's so much extra that it's like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so here's the problem, right? Miles Morales is Black and Puerto Rican, right? Which is really cool, very diverse character. But the thing is that what they did is they blackified Thor / Asgard. So what I mean is, like, for example, look at Miles' suit. He does not look like he's wearing regular armor. He looks like he's about to go hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like, his armor has strings on it, like hoodie strings on it. What type of warrior wears hoodie strings? Then he's wearing like basketball fucking compression shorts. And he's wearing Jordins. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, and then he has a high top, he has a high top fade, he has a taper fade, bro, with a design on it. Like, what? You know, he just looks like it's so extra. You know what I'm saying? It's like they made him like, it sounds weird to say, but like they made him like too black. Like, what, like basically he looks like they were just like, oh yeah, Miles Morales is black, so shit, we gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? And if it was just his design, right, and then like the story was cool or whatever, it'd be normal. But here's the thing, they say some out-of-pocket shit in there that is unnecessary. For example, this nigga Miles says it's hammer time. Why is he Mr. T now? Then not only that, he says by Odin's fade. By Odin's fade. Are you talking about his taper fade? Or what do you mean by his fade? Like fighting? It's horrendous. And then not only that, this frost giant that Miles is hitting, why does it have a crispy fade, bro? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's all these things that are just unnecessary in it. And there's a bunch of other stuff that I can't think off the top of my head. But it's like, why did you need to do that? You know what I mean? Like, Miles' Mjolnir has fucking graffiti all over it. Now, I see people defending it and also arguing against it. Like, for one, I can see both sides. Like, for example, people saying that, like, you know, Mjolnir having graffiti on it, that's something Miles would do. And I can see that, you know what I'm saying? Because Miles does graffiti walls and stuff like that. And they're saying that, like, you know, his suit has graffiti on it. Like, Into the Spider-Verse, the red stuff on his black suit is actually spray paint. That's not actually, you know, anything else. So, like, it's like, I can see that argument. But then on the other side, I can see how it's way too fucking extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, the graffiti on the Mjolnir, okay, we can let that slide. You know what I mean? His outfit's cool, but it's like way too fucking like extra. Not only that, Asgard is referred to as his hood. Really? Really, dude? Asgard is his hood? His hood? Not only that, there are sneakers hanging from street lines. Do people not know what that symbolizes? That's not a respectable thing. That's not like, oh yeah, shoes on the sneakers on the shoe line. That's a respect. No, niggas died. Like, what? That is not a good thing, bro. And then not only that, there's this dude in the back driving half of a Crown Vic with a goat pulling it. It was like, some things I can see, I can like let slide, you know what I mean? Like Miles wearing the graffiti on his Mjolnir, okay, whatever. That's him adding his personality to it. And then his suit, okay, it was kind of extra to me, but at the same time, he does look crispy, whatever. But then it's just all those other subtle things that it's like, god damn it, bro. Like, you almost had something and then you just made it too extra. Like, they made it too much, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because there was no reason for him to say by Odin's fade. You don't have Thor out there saying by Odin's fade. Fade? Why does a frost giant have a crispy fade? So is he black now too? Like, that's what it was. Just so many like just backhanded slaps in the face. And the dude that made it wasn't even black too. So it was like, I don't know the whole situation, but all I'm saying is that it wasn't a good look. You know what I mean? Face value, it's not a good look. On that scenario, same with Marvel on that, because someone had to proofread this multiple times and they said yes. So like, it was like there was no chain of command where someone said this is kind of, you know, it's kind of wild, you know what I mean? Like, no one raised their eyebrows and was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Maybe you could change some things, you know? Like, there's, again, like I said, there's some things that we just let slide, like his outfit and this and that, but like Asgard being referred to as his hood, the fucking sneakers on a street line, the Crown Vic with spinner wheels, the fades and like there could have been something there, bro, but it's whatever. It's still a comic at the end of the day. It's a what if comic, and at the end of the day, it's a comic. You know what I mean? That is why I scream for good representation instead of just representation, because when you get representation, you get shit like this. And another thing, they couldn't make a whole nother person up for for Thor, you know what I mean? It had to be Miles Morales. like they don't have access to other black people in Marvel, because, you know, blue Marvel's a thing, literally stronger than Thor and a black guy. They couldn't just do what if Blue Marvel. That's kind of crazy, whatever. But yeah, that was a controversial topic. It's kind of funny to me. It really shows that we just need good representation, and we won't get good representation until our respective people are making this certain thing. You know what I mean? Like, black people making stuff about other black people, Mexican people making other stuff about Mexican people, etc., etc. You know, unless you're like really in tuned with that specific culture, I don't think you should be making it. There's no reason why I want the creator of Naruto making black people in anime. You know what I'm saying? Because they won't really understand what goes on with black people. So if anything, it'll just be face value black people in there, and then the stereotypes, you know, big lips, rapping, and then fucking cornrows, basically Killer Bee. So like, we need less Killer Bees and more Miles Moraleses, but not Thor Miles Moraleses. We need more Miles Moraleses, but that'll happen in time. I say within the next 10 years we'll get more of our people in bigger head figure areas in the creative space, and we'll start being good. We'll be starting good. We need Static Shock. Bring Static Shock, bro. I'm tired of this. Static Shock needs to be... Static Shock is basically Spider-Man of DC. He is that charismatic dude that everyone likes. You know, he's funny, really strong, can take care of himself, is really, really intelligent, and also talks about real life stuff. With race, too, and different cultures. I don't know why he hasn't made it back to the big screen yet, like movie-wise and TV-wise. I know he's in like Injustice and stuff like that, which is like the team TV shows, like the DC animated, but like he needs his own show, bro. Static Shock is worth it. And don't cast Michael B. Jordan for it. Michael B. Jordan isn't the only black nigga on TV. Like, come on, bro. Everything. It's just like, bro, we got like 3 people representing us on TV, bro. Michael B. Jordan, the one black kid from Stranger Things, and I don't know, insert black person here. That's literally all Samuel L. Jackson, I guess. I don't know. It's crazy. We only have 3 black people on TV, bro. Apparently. So yeah, that's that. We're going to move from nerd news, and now we're going to get into the life section. Now, if you don't know what the life section is, today I will be answering questions. I don't have anything typically to talk about other than answering these questions. So if you want to be on the Ask Jordan section, all you have to do is send a question through the comments and or join my Discord, and there's a section called Ask Jordan, and you just ask me any question that is appropriate for your age, and I will answer it if I get to it. So again, now I want to preface this really quick. This is questions that people ask me, so I'm just answering it to the best of my abilities. You know what I'm saying? I do not make the rules. I am not God. I do not... What I say isn't just law, you know what I mean? So these are just my opinions. These are based off of my experiences and stuff like that. You don't have to agree with me. You can disagree, whatever the fuck. But basically, just don't take my word as law. This is just from my point of view of things. So let's get into it. And the first question I have is from a person in my Discord named Froggy. Now, Froggy asked, when you were a teenager, let's say around 14 to 15, what did you want to do as an adult? If you wanted to be a content creator, what inspired that? But if not, what did you want to be? And this is a really good question because this has multiple layers to it. For one, you know, you're really young. You're at the age where you're way more cognizant about your life and your abilities and this and that. Back in the day, a long time ago, 14, 15 was seen as an adult. Long time ago. Nowadays, you're seen as just this incapable creature of taking care of yourself, and your mindset is still dumb and all that. But in reality, you've been on Earth long enough to see things and start actually formulating your own opinions, and you want to know, you want to be prepared for life. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie, after high school, they're just gonna expect you to throw you out there and be like, why don't you have a job yet? Like, bitch, you didn't prepare me. So that's a good example. So hold on, let me get comfortable. And I'm gonna be honest, that's a pretty good question. So I'm gonna break it down because there's a lot in this. So what did I want to do as an adult? Actually, funny enough, I wanted to be a firefighter, specifically a forest firefighter. One reason why is because back in high school, I think it was middle school actually, middle school or high school, whatever. I was like either a freshman or I was in 8th grade. They had us take these like career choosing things. So we went on the computer, answered a bunch of questions, and they were like, all these things are things that would fit your personality. You know what I'm saying? And I got stuff like actor. Like I got stuff like being an actor or a comedian, and then I also got stuff like being a flight attendant, firefighter, things like that, or director. So I got stuff in the creative space or in the helping space, like counselor and stuff like that. And those interest me a lot. And I like the way firefighters are seen because firefighters are cool. Firefighters are cool as fuck. I don't see anyone having beef with firefighters like people have beef with police. You know what I'm saying? Like, firefighters are really respected. And I didn't know that forest firefighters were a thing, and I was like, that seems cool, being in touch with nature and then also protecting nature. I was like, that sounds dope. And I also saw they got fat checks. So that was one of the things that influenced me a lot as a child. But again, I was a child. I was 8th or 9th grade, whichever one. So I did have that idea on lock, but at the same time, around I think 10th grade or something like that, I got into video editing at my school, YouTube was a big thing too. I really loved watching YouTubers, Game Grumps, Black Hokage, a bunch of other people, and I loved watching them. Watching Smosh was amazing, you know what I'm saying? And knowing that Smosh was from my area was really dope. So I always wanted to, I always wanted to put the things that were in my head out on the big screen, right? Because I feel like I could do that. And I didn't really want to be a content creator because I didn't start making content until like my junior year anyway. So it was still a year before I even really started making content. But what made me realize I wanted to start doing content was that I had no goals or aspirations to do anything else. Not gonna lie. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to work a regular job because looking at people being miserable, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work at school. I didn't want to be a teacher because teachers get made fun of for making a certain amount of money by the students and by people in regular life and then by other teachers. And then I didn't want to do, I don't know, a minimum wage job because that's one thing I noticed about schools is that schools don't do a good job of teaching you what is out there to work at. They just tell you you're not gonna be shit. Like, I realized that it was kind of weird that teachers wouldn't be like, hey, you know, like there are other, what are you interested in? Are you interested in like tech? Are you interested in health? Are you interested in this? All they tell you is graduate and go to college, and they pass you on. There's no schools that really like preface what you can get into with and without education. And that's a really big problem in the education system, is that they don't tell you that a lot of these jobs you don't need degrees for. Like, you don't need a degree to get a lot of these jobs that offer six figures. You know what I'm saying? And that is not something they tell you. You know what I'm saying? And it's messed up. So I realized that I didn't want to go to school. I said, fuck it. I hate school because I don't like the schooling system. The schooling system is still trash. I will 100% admit that. No matter what you guys do, the schooling system is still trash, and it's designed that way, sadly, but it's trash. College is also trash. It doesn't get better. All it is that now all college is basically what people were doing in high school, except now everyone's procrastinating. I was procrastinating in high school. Now, all it is that college, everyone gets to procrastinate, except you're paying to procrastinate. That's literally it. There's no difference between college and high school, except that the teachers are also lazier now, are way lazier. They're getting paid more to be lazier, especially now. So I knew I didn't want to put up with that shit, like, at all. It was a very robot way of doing things. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna be a content creator. And I do not advise a lot of people trying to do that because it's not a good idea to just throw all your eggs in one basket and be a content creator because it's not safe. It's not a reliable source of income. It's not safe, you know, yada yada. By safe, I mean you will not make a good living on this unless you're big. You know what I'm saying? At all. You will not make a good living. It's extra. It can be extra income at times, but it's still not that. And then you shouldn't think about it on an income aspect. One of my main things about wanting to start YouTube, it wasn't because I wanted big fat checks. Yes, that can be a thing where I'm like, ooh, I want to have a lot of money, but that's also coming from a broke kid who didn't have a lot. So obviously I'm going to want more for myself. You know what I mean? Once you're at the bottom, you only want to go up. So I guess one influence that did make me want to do YouTube is I saw a lot of people making money. So that was a good aspect on the sense that I could probably convince my guardians like, hey, I want to do YouTube because they make a lot of money on it. That was one thing, that reason why I did want to do YouTube too, is because it was something that I enjoyed doing. It can also convince your parents, or my parents in the sense, because I was like, hey, like, you know, or my guardians at the time, but like, you know, hey, YouTube gets paid a lot. Don't worry about me. As long as I put in the work and the effort, I could make this amount of money. Other people do it. Why can't I? You know what I mean? Because that's one of the main arguments. They just want to make sure you make a lot of money, or a good amount of money that you can survive. So that was one of the convincing points. But one of the main reasons is that I wanted to make a community. I wanted to make a community where people could be welcomed. I'm still learning how to do that because I realize a lot of you niggas are weird. A lot of people on the internet are weird. So it's going to take some time before I can really make the community I really want, but it'll get there eventually. But that's one of the things. I want to make my own community. We're just all chill. I want to be able to I want to be able to do stuff with people, meet new people, hang out with new people, make friends, you know, stuff like that. So I wanted to make content creator friends too, just so we could have fun events. I wanted to go travel and experience stuff. That was one of the main reasons that made me want to be a content creator, is for the experiences, the friendships that I can make, and being diverse. Because I realized that without the internet, a lot of people can just grow up in an area and die there and not go anywhere. The internet allows us to touch parts of the world that we might never be able to see. So I wanted to take that chance to branch out and be in other places of the planet. Even if I never get to touch Africa, my videos can touch Africa and someone else can know about me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think it's really dope that people around the world fuck with me. So I'm like, this is cool. So yeah, I'm currently, that was what I did when I was 14 and 15. Basically, to answer your question, how I figured out what I wanted to do is I just sat back and watched other people and looked at other people's lives and realized, do I want to do that or do I not want to do it? Basically, you need to realize, what do you want to do for yourself? Because it's going to be your life at the end of the day. No one else is going to turn 80 and die for you. You're going to turn 80 and die for yourself. So you have to do a lot of self-reflection. What are you willing to put up? Yeah. So then there's the next question by Astro, another person in my Discord. What was your motivation to keep posting videos if you're discouraged for a while? It's an easy question, but at the same time, it's kind of like difficult because it'd be for different reasons. So one of my motivations is that I do like content creation, but what I realized is that you have to take a step back and do content for fun and not for views or for money, because a lot of discouragement from YouTube and stuff like that is a lot of self-doubt. Oh, I don't know how the people are going to feel about this one. Oh, this video is not going to get a lot of views, or oh, this one's not going to get this and that. Instead of just making something you want to make for yourself and that's fun, and then the people that like it flock to it and flock to you, you tend to follow trends. So what I did is I just took a step back and realized, fuck you guys. like basically what I just do is I just don't care what you guys think. Like, I'm saying it, like, I'm not directed towards you, but you know what I mean? I don't care what the mass populace thinks about my videos. As long as I'm doing it how I want to do it and I enjoy the video, then there's going to be people who like it. You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing with any type of art. When someone releases music, they didn't release it for these people. You can release something that's in mind. You know, for example, like Genshin. I know people like Genshin. Let me put my own spin on it. I like talking, so I roast these Genshin characters and people fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with music. Someone might be like, oh, you know, I want to make a club mix for people. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna make my own club mix. Boom, there you go. Or you can make your own genre of music. That's kind of where I'm at now. I don't care what the mass thinks about my videos unless I'm enjoying it. Because at the end of the day, either I post a video and it blows up or not, but at least I did it, compared to thinking about it and never posting it and nothing ever happens. You know what I'm saying? A good amount of my video, I realized that a good amount of my videos blow up later on, which is kind of weird, but one video I posted literally got 30 views for fucking 3 months, and then it blew up, and then that's how my YouTube is at where it's now. And then that video has almost 300,000 views. You see what I'm saying? That same video I posted got 30 views. 30 in 3 months, and then it just randomly blew up, and now a year later it's at 300,000. You see what I'm saying? Life is weird. You just have to do your own thing, bro. And I just said fuck it. So that's how I do it. I just say fuck it. It either has to be done or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what it is. And then that kind of coincides with this next question. Another question from a Discord member called May. Any advice for up and coming content creators? One thing for sure, one thing that I see from a lot of you guys that are new, because I went through the same thing, is you want to have an audience before you start making content, and then you want to experiment when you have an audience. That's not how it works. You have to experiment first and build an audience. So essentially, throw darts at the wall and see what sticks, and then do it. I was playing tons of different games before I got to Genshin. I was playing fucking Remnant from the Ashes. I was playing Absolver. I was playing Fortnite at one point. I was playing Fortnite when it first came out, and I was making videos on that. I was playing Apex. I was playing Destiny. I was playing tons of different things. I was doing story mode games. I was playing horror games. And, well, horror games that I can handle. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I was doing stuff. And then eventually Genshin came out. I did start doing videos on Genshin because I liked Genshin. I liked the idea of Genshin, and I was like, this is kind of fun. Then I made videos on it, blew up, and now I hate the fucking game. So, like, you have to just do stuff. And then now I'm still in the transition where I'm still trying to do other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did Little Nightmares. You know what I'm saying? It never really ends. Your biggest content creators, Jacksepticeye, Markiplier, Corey Kenshin, they're at a point now where they can play whatever the fuck they want, and people are going to flock to it. Not because of the game, but because of them. I bet you right now Markiplier can play an old game from 30 years ago, and people will still watch it because they love Markiplier. And I understand that's what a lot of people want to do, but Markiplier didn't get to that point until after he kept posting consistently, and then people started flocking to him. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to do it. So my advice is just make your content. Don't worry about the quality, this and that, because eventually you'll get better. You want to get the skills and this and that. You want to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's like you want to sell stuff, but then you have no clothes on sale. What are you selling? You know, you want to be a content creator, but you have no content. Like, you know what? So what are you? You're not a creator and you don't have content. So what are you? You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make it. Just do it, bro. I recently just hit, I think 100 videos or close to 100 videos that are uploaded on my channel. But in reality, I have 200 videos in total because I unlisted all of the other ones because you're not going to see my old videos. No one's going to see my old videos. But yeah, I have over 200 something videos, but yet what you guys see is only 80 of them. You see what I'm saying? So like, you just got to make it, dude. So that's my tip on up and coming content creators. There's this other question from Alex. Alex asked, will I be branching off from branching off to do other content other than Genshin? And yes, I am. I'm glad you asked that. For one, I am doing currently this podcast. That's different content. Two, I will be branching off of Genshin because Genshin does get very old, and there are other things I want to make. I want to talk about anime and do other games and stuff. So I will just be starting to do it. Even if it only gets me 10 views, I don't care. I'm going to start doing it now because I realize Genshin isn't something I'm really passionate about. You know what I mean? Like, so yes, I will be doing other content. We have another Discord member. This is someone who is really cool. Link asked, what are 3 shows / books you'd recommend to any audience and why? And I actually had to write this down because I had to think. So I have 2 books and 2 animes. So I know it's not 3, but listen, hear me out. Number 1 is Bones. Now, if you don't know what Bones is a really good OG like anime book or anime manga. It was so good, dude. I remember it and don't remember it because it was that long ago. I was like 6 when I was reading it, and it still holds up. It was kind of graphic. The art style was really unique. It was dope. I loved it. I recommend that for sure. I recommend the Percy Jackson books because Percy Jackson is superior to fucking Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. I don't care what anyone says. I don't even have to read Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings to know Percy Jackson is better. The movies suck, but I hope the new TV show is good. So Percy Jackson because Percy Jackson is superior. And then the third one will be a tie between these 2 animes, and that's either Inuyasha or Yu Yu Hakusho. Now, the reason why I recommend this is because these 2 are different spectrums of anime, but they also are both fire. So for example, Inuyasha is comedic. It has romantic drama in there, and it also has action, stellar voice acting for the time, and then also great action, plot advancement, family issues, and then killing and stuff like it because it is also a dark anime. So if you are a person who likes rom-coms or like even romantic situations, there is romance in this anime. There's also action in this anime. There's also really hype moments. There are family issues in this anime, so you can relate to characters on this anime. It's really good. And then even then, there's really chill animes and beautiful scenes right there. So I recommend Inuyasha. Now, Yu Yu Hakusho is more on a I would say it's definitely more boyish because a lot of the jokes are definitely boyish too. Because like for example, a lot of the jokes are dated. It was made by the people who made Hunter x Hunter. so a good amount of jokes are dated. Like, for example, this one character is acting kind of zesty, you know what I'm saying? And the character literally called him a fruitcake. Like, he was like, he said, "Ogre, you're acting like a fruitcake." And I was like, oh god, you know. Stuff like that. Then there was like another scenario where Yusuke, Urameshi, main character, literally admits that he doesn't give a fuck, he will hit women. You know what I mean? So it's like, there are some scenarios that are kind of wild, but it's funny. It's a cool anime. I will definitely say, in context, they're definitely like, it's funny. They also have strong women in that anime too, and there's romance, comedy, drama, same thing in that. But I definitely say the more like dude bro-ish and what is it, demographic will fuck more with Yu Yu Hakusho than they will with Inuyasha. But I definitely can say both of those are definitely a recommendations. Those are top tier. Inuyasha is one of my favorite animes, and Yu Yu Hakusho is hilarious and one of my favorite animes with everything that's in it. So yeah, those are my recommendations. And I have one more question from a person named K in my Discord, and they have about like 5 questions in one, or really 3. One, their question is, how are you? I'm doing fantastic. I am, we're getting by. We're doing what we got to do, but I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Number 2, favorite color and why? That is a very controversial topic because I cannot choose. I do not have a favorite color because some days it's something like gold, other days it's teal, other days it's red, other days it's black. I don't know. I can't give you a straightforward answer. I will say I like colors. So I guess the rainbow, but I'm not gay. But I would fuck a man. No, I wouldn't. But yeah, I like colors. That's all, because colors are cool. 3, who inspired or inspires you? That is a good question. I think what inspires me is, I used to have other people inspire me, but I had to change my mindset on that, right? Because here's what it is, right? I saw this TikTok that was really cool, so I'll just give this a shout out. The Black Hokage is a person who keeps me going now as a man, right? Learning different things and trying to get different topics, because I saw this man from when he was more in a sense of where he was struggling to now where he's literally financially free as fuck. Maybe not to the point that he wants to be, but he's doing really good for himself, and that inspires me as a young black man to do better. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the position, or I might be in a better position than he was back when he was 21, but I feel like I can be like a challenge. I could be in a better position when I'm 30 where he is. You know what I'm saying? It's out of respect for him, because I do look up to him in a sense of like, he's like an older brother figure. So I guess in that sense, I guess him. But I've been changing my mindset on like, for example, like how there's like self-doubt and self-deprecation, basically hating yourself. This one person on TikTok said like, what keeps you going, or this and that, and it was because this person said, I don't want to disappoint this person, and it was a picture of themselves as a baby, or they were like, like, how can you not or like, how do you love yourself so much, or why do you not want to, like, basically, how do you not do self-hate? And he was like, because I don't want to hurt this person or make this person cry. And it was a picture of themselves as a baby, or like a kid just smiling and having fun. And I was like, damn, like, dude, I realize I'm still a fucking kid. Like, that's why I say, like, I'm 21, but at the same time, I'm only 21. And I was like, it's not too long ago where I was a kid, and that kid never got to grow up in a normal situation. So it's like, I want to make that person proud. And then also, when I have kids, I don't want them to have to go through what I go through. So what inspires me is myself to do better. You know what I'm saying? If I had to give it to a tangible person, the Black Hokage. But if I had to give it to, like, this inner, deeper self-motivation, my woke self, I would have to say my child version myself in my future kids, because I want them to be proud. You know what I'm saying? Nothing would be more embarrassing to me than not being able to give my kids something they want because I can't afford it. You know what I'm saying? Like, or like not being able to spend time with my kids while they're growing up, because that's a very that's a limited thing we're gonna be able to experience. My kid's only gonna be 2 years old once. You know what I'm saying? I was only 10 years old one time. You know what I'm saying? My kid's only gonna be 10 for one time, and life's too short. I wanna be able to make sure that my kids are secure if I pass away or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I gotta make sure they're set, and I gotta make sure I'm set. So, and then also there's tons of experiences I want to experience, bro. I want to go to Japan. I don't want to be stuck here for the rest of my life. You know, I want to go to Greece. I want to go to places, bro. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Cuba. I want to go to these places, bro. I don't want to sit here for the rest of my life. So, yeah, that was that. Number 4, you said some crazy stuff to me. You said how to solve stoichiometry. Do it. You just solve it. I don't know. Then number 5, have a good rest of your day. Thank you. You have a good rest of your day too. And then there was other people who asked me other questions too, but some of them kind of fell in line with what was already asked with like previous questions, you know? So yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really have anything else to say. Someone else asked, Navi asked, what is a controversial food topic? I don't really have controversial food topics because everything I eat is goated. If anything I can say, pineapple on pizza isn't that bad. You're just a child. I will definitely say it's not my most recommended thing on a pizza. Like if someone came up to me and said like, hey, do you want pineapple on your pizza? I'd be like, do I have the option to say no? And if they said, yeah, I have the option to say no, I would say no. But if they were like, you know, we only have pineapple pizza, I'm not gonna be a fucking child and take the pineapple off. I'm gonna eat it. You know what I mean? So like, that's I guess that's my only controversial topic. Tacos are cool, you know. Burritos are cool. Yeah. Fried chicken isn't that amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really it. I don't really have anything else to say. If anything, I just gotta say, you know, if you haven't joined my Discord already, the link will be down below. Come hang out, do your thing, bro. Just talk to us, you know, be normal, because shit, I might have to make another Discord, bro. But like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Discord's kind of weird. I realized, I guess that's what I want to say, bro. Another thing people need to realize, bro, is stop taking everything so damn serious, bro. The internet is the internet. It is literally fake. Like, what I mean by that is like, people will come. That was my trash can. I just opened it with my foot and then closed it. Basically, like, people will cry and complain about stuff that has no reason to have that much hold over you. Like, people will like send death threats over fictional characters, and that's obscene to me. That's a first world problem. If you have enough time to be able to send a death threat to someone else because you don't like their opinion, you're a fucking loser. Or if you have the time and energy to complain about something that has nothing that affects you on your living status or anything like that, you're a loser. Go do something else. You know what I'm saying? Like, go get a hobby, pick up something, pick up a book. You know, learn a skill. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, the internet is so widely accessible that there's no reason people should be bored. Being bored just means you have no drive. You don't know what to do. So go find something out. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what it is. There's no reason to be bored anymore. Especially if you have free time and you have access to the internet, you shouldn't be bored at all. There's so much you can do. Go take a fucking walk. You know what I'm saying? Go do something. Realize what you have and what others don't. Go do what you got to do. That's all I got to say. Other than that, my name is Jordin Coon. Do not forget me. Thanks for watching my Jordin Coon or my JordinTalks fucking podcast. Thank you guys for the support. I'll catch you guys on the next one next week. I'll catch you later.